It actually went a lot smoother than we expected. We're not really used to flying, to be honest. We don't fly too often. The seats are kind of cramped. Very little food. No sleep. But it actually went pretty smooth though. It wasn't too bad.
And so, is it the first time you're in Russia?
Yes, very first time.
What about your mood, your feelings when it comes to days close to the competition? What do you prefer, to be alone, or it doesn't matter whether it is competition or not? Yeah,
it doesn't really matter. I mean, I like to be alone a little bit to kind of overthink things and, you know, plan out my attempts. That's usually like the night before, but leading up to it, it's pretty much the same thing every day. Go about my daily life, you know, make sure I'm getting in my good meals and staying hydrated. But otherwise, everything pretty much stays the same until the night before, and then I kind of just get in my own zone and focus.
I don't know if it is news for you, but I want to tell you that Zahir will not compete.
Zahir won't compete?
Yeah.
I kind of already heard about that.
What do you think about it?
Honestly, I was actually a little bit upset because I really wanted to compete with him again. But I know that there will always be another day and another competition for that. But I'm still very excited to compete with Andre. So that's been one of my biggest goals, is to compete with him on stage. So,
if I'm not mistaken, you improved your total recently and improved your squat. So it is exactly the same that Andre squatted?
Yes, we are tight on the squat, but he's still ahead of me on the total by a good 15 kilos at least. So
recently I read one of your posts where you said that Andre was your idol.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, I've been watching Andre lift and compete. Man, for years. I used to watch him on YouTube, and I followed him for a really long time, and I've always looked up to him. So,
is it true if I say that Andre was one of the reasons of your quick progress?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, he helped push me a lot. You know, when you're at the top of the sport, you need someone there to keep pushing you to, you know, do better and to know that there's more left in the tank, you know. So having people that are, I guess, better than you, it helps push you more, in my eyes.
So, and what can you say about your conditions? Does such a long trip affect your performance?
Well, the trip to Australia was actually about 20 hours for us, and this one was about 12. So it's, you know, obviously less flying time, and this one wasn't so bad compared to the Australia trip. But it does definitely affect you, because, you know, you're not able to, you know, keep up with your meals and stay hydrated. I know that I've probably lost a couple kilos in weight just from not eating and drinking like I normally do. But I have a couple days to prepare for the competition now, so I'm sure I'll get it back on, no problem.
If I'm right, you competed quite a few days ago. No, not a few days, maybe.
It was it'll be 3 weeks from this weekend, yes. And that's where I set the new squat and total of my weight class.
Right. And do you think you have still enough energy to compete good?
Most definitely. I've actually done a couple competitions in the past, back to back within 2 or 3 weeks, and I ended up doing better at the next one. That's not to say that I'm gonna do better at this one, but, you know, I'm gonna do my best, and I do feel prepared for it.
And if you don't want to answer, you can do it, but if you will answer, it will be very nice. What do you think about Zahir's bad words?
You know, I think maybe both of us kind of took it out of proportion, and it was, in our eyes, I guess it was maybe a little worse than what we thought, but it really wasn't. It's more so just friendly competition in my eyes. And you know, I still look up to Zahir. I still watch all of his training videos, and you know, he's inspired me ever since I've seen him lift. So I really don't have anything bad to say about him. When I met him last year, he was really nice and, you know, kind to us. So I have no problems with him at all.
I think it was a few seconds, how to say, anger.
Yeah, and you know, it was after, you know, a big lift, and you know, people say things they don't sometimes when, you know, they're fired up. So It's not a big deal to me, not at all.
As far as I know, when you do your hard deadlifts, you are also a very bad guy.
What do you mean?
When you finish lifts, you look like an angry man.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. But I guess everyone's a little different, and I usually just kind of stay quiet. I don't really start yelling, but again, that's all up to the lifter, and whatever gets them going. But for me, it's keep it all bottled up and keep your words to yourself. That's just the way I've always been.
And one more interesting thing about you that I noticed, position of belt. Mm-hmm. Was it your invention, or did you notice it somewhere?
No, it's something that I just experimented with myself on both the squat and the deadlift. I used to wear my belt lower when I was younger, and I didn't feel like it actually helped me, like people have talked about in the past. And so I started playing with my belt positioning, moving it around, tightening it, moving up, and I felt like I had more abdominal pressure and stayed more erect during my squat and deadlift, and both lifts started going up and climbing up as I started learning the new belt position. So I think for me personally, it's worked great. It's not going to work for everyone, but I think it's worth a try to just at least see how it feels. But again, it all depends on the lifter.
It's interesting. After that, I started noticing that more and more people started wearing belt like you.
Yeah, I've noticed it too, and a lot of people's training videos. But I never actually directly say, "Oh, you copied that off of me." It's nothing like that.
And everybody knows that Russia quite a big country, and recently it became a quite serious country.
Yeah.
With many problems.
Yeah.
In world geopolitics. So I drive at this thing that what your friends maybe told you about Russian, something like don't visit this strange country.
Oh no,
it's dangerous.
That no matter what anyone ever told me, that would never stop me. I've always wanted to come here to compete. It's been a big goal of mine to even just come here and visit. So I'm happy to just even be a part of this competition.
Are you maybe a bit afraid that main judge will be Barista? What do you think about it?
What do you mean?
That he is very strict?
I'm not really worried about it. Whenever I come to the competition, I always get my lifts passed. My lifts might look a little deceiving on video, but again, unless you're there in person and you actually see it there for yourself, the lift can look completely different. So,
from what you maybe have seen from competition which held in May, WRPF,
yes,
where Wayne Howlett and Rimalanchev competed. What have you noticed interesting?
Well, from that competition, the setup looked really cool. It looked like it was on a big stage, and kind of looked like everyone was helping out each other. It seemed like a really cool competition. At that point, I never thought I was going to get invited to come out here. So when I got the message from Kirill for the invite, I was really excited, and there was one thing that I was definitely not going to put down.
What do you think is the most important reason to be quite successful on the world stage in powerlifting?
Having a good coach to help back you up. You don't see a whole lot of lifters that are good in the sport that don't actually have a coach there to help them and help guide them and be there with them during their training sessions. So, having a good support team, having good training partners to help push you, and then having your coach there on competition day, without actually failing the lift, how could you fail when you have someone there, talking to you and helping you through everything. So I personally think it'd be having a really good coach. That's what's taken me from mediocre to elite. So
what do you think the most serious difference between Russian lifters and American lifters, if you know?
It's hard for me to say. It almost seems like the Russian lifters are more serious about it, but that's not to say that some American lifters aren't. it just seems as though, you know, strength sports are a lot bigger out here as opposed to, you know, in America. So I guess that's kind of my view on that.